everybody? Welcome to the channel. Got a good one for you guys this time. It's like the thumbnail says, prison romance. Like my cigarette. Back in 1992, Sheridan, Oregon. I went there, let me see, I was 22 years old. And one day a whole bunch of new COs came into the building. And there was this little short blonde chick. She was kind of cool. Older female. And I was checking her out, and we made eye contact, and she was just staring like she was in a daze. And I was just staring back, checking her out, And a couple of days went by. Her first day on the job, she happened to work in our building. And so I was checking her out again. She was checking me out. I noticed she would stare a lot. But when I would catch her staring, I would ignore her. I would just turn away like I ain't even paying attention. And all the dudes, they would go up there and try to conversate with her, and I used to just trip out like, damn, all these motherfuckers, they on her. So I would catch her every day making eye contact with me, and she would just stare like she was in a daze. And one day I went up to her and I said, why you keep staring at me? And she said, I don't know. And I said, all right, I just thought I'd ask. Thought maybe you thought I was up to something, but all right. So as the days go by, I kept catching her staring at me, like she just staring at me like there ain't nothing else to look at. And then so I just played a part, I just wanted to go in and pick her brain a little bit, so I just played a part. And I tell her, hey, you keep staring at me, you're making me nervous. And she started smiling, like, making you nervous? How am I making you nervous? I said, I don't know, you're just making me nervous. But I was just playing the part, I was like just picking her brain. And she started to smile. She said, anybody ever tell you that you can read what somebody's thinking through their eyes? And I said, no, not really. But me, I already know what I'm thinking, so I'm just playing like I'm dumb. I said, no, not really. I said, but what does that mean? And she said, you got to read the eyes. I said, all right, I'm gonna see if I can read them. So I look at her in her eyes. I said, no, I can't read nothing. And so I just go on my way. As days go by, and I stop and pick her brain a little bit. I told her, hey, I'm trying to read your eyes, but I don't know if I'm coming up with the right answer or what, but they're telling me a whole bunch of stuff. And she said, yeah. She said, well, you gotta read them. I said, all right. And she said, what they telling you? I said, I don't know, but they telling me a whole bunch of stuff. I don't even know if I should tell you or not. Me, I'm just playing the role like I'm dumb. But when I was young, I thought I could pull any female. I didn't give a fuck. I was gonna shoot my game, and if it worked, it worked. So it just kept going on like that. And then one day she tells me, so have you figured it out? And I said, I don't know. I said, I don't know if I should tell you, but I know what your eyes are telling me, that a whole bunch of crazy stuff. I don't know if I should tell you though. And she said, well, she goes, sometimes you gotta ask and you'll find out. I said, oh, okay, like that. Now me, I already know what I'm doing. I'm just playing the role. I got my fishing line in the water. I'm just waiting for a little nibble so I can yank on that hook. And so as the days go on, I tell her, you like what you see, huh? She said, maybe. When she said maybe and she smiled, I knew I had her. I knew it was on now. I had her right where I wanted her. So I would flirt with her and cheer her up, start talking about her personal life, her her family, and she was married and she had 2 little kids, but she started telling me about her husband. Her husband was like mean and abusive and shit. So I would tell her, you need to cut that motherfucker loose then. If he ain't treating you right, you need somebody that's gonna treat you right and make you happy. Said, I know now you're making some money now, so he's probably mad because you're making more money than him. And she had told me that he went to the gym a lot, that he was always at the gym, and he used to take steroids. So it made him real aggressive. I said, well, shit, one day he's gonna fuck you up. You might as well just cut him loose. Cut him loose now. And cut him loose now, and who knows, when I get out of here, we might hook up. No, I was just bullshitting. She was 31 years old, and I was 22. So I was just bullshitting with her. But I knew it flattered her. It made her happy, and so I knew she was just soaking all that shit up. So as the days go on, and I continue to flirt with her every day, I noticed that see they had softball leagues, and I was playing sports all the time, and she knew when the my team was gonna play, and she would switch with the other officer. She would switch so she can drive the truck. There was a truck that drove around the prison their whole shift. All they did was drive around the prison. Well, she would park, and she would stand outside of her truck, and she would watch me play. And your boy was tight, so I had game. I ain't just trying to blow my head up, but people would tell you that I used to play right field, and it looked like they're gonna hit the ball over my head, but I'll run that shit down. And if they try to run on me, I'll throw their ass out. So I was pretty tight. And I told her one day she worked in the building. I didn't have no game, so she worked in the building. And I told her, I seen you out there jocking me. She said, yeah, you played good. I said, so what's up? So you gonna tell me what your eyes aren't telling me? Because I want to make sure that I'm getting this right. And she said, nope. She said, you just gotta figure it out. I said, oh, okay. I said, so if I just figure it out, then don't be mad. Don't be mad if I'm wrong, because what I'm reading, is what I'm reading. And if you're telling me to just, go on my instincts, then don't be mad. So she was always smiling and shit when I would say that. And so one day they switched her schedule. She started working a late night, which I think, I don't remember, but they would come in like around 10 o'clock or something. And on the weekends, we would stay up. On Friday and Saturday, we would stay up till 2 o'clock. And her and the CO on the other side, the other building, there was 2 sides. And in the middle was the counselor's office. Well, they would go in there and eat lunch. One would take lunch and the other one would be in their building, and they would go at different times. And so one day I told her, I said, hey, next time you go in that office, I said, I'm gonna go and sneak in there. And she said, no, you're not. I said, what do you mean, no, I'm not? I said, no, I'm not. You're telling me not to, or no, I'm not. You don't think I will? And she said, I don't think you will. I said, you don't think I will? I said, you think these people scare me? I said, I'll sneak in there. I ain't playing. And she said, no, you won't. I said, all right, watch me. So one Friday came. It was Friday or Saturday. I don't remember. But it was about 1 o'clock. And she goes in there to eat her lunch. And I go down by the TV room, which was a Spanish TV room. And so I just stand outside the window and I'm just watching what's on TV. Really, I'm just, waiting for the right time to sneak in there. So I know she's in there. And I said, fuck it. Because we're getting ready. We're getting ready to go in ourselves at 2. So I said, fuck it. It was like 1 o'clock, 1 something. And I sneak in there. And I walk in the door. And her eyes get real big. And I said, what's up? I told you I'll do it. And she said, damn, you're going to get caught. I said, no, I'm not. She said, well, close the door. So I close the door and I go in there. And she's in there sitting down. And she has her food right there. And I said, well, what's up? Stand up. Let me size you up. So she stands up and I put my arms around her. She was a little bit shorter than me. And I ain't that tall. And so I put my arms around her and she puts her arm around me. And she, I start rubbing on her and she starts kissing me and shit. And then she stops. And then she says, we're going to get caught. You better go back. We're going to get caught. I said, well, damn. I told you I'd do it. Thought I was playing. So I said, I'm gonna go back, but we're gonna do this shit again. We're gonna set up the timing. We're gonna come up with a plan. And she says, you're crazy. And I said, I'm crazy for you. And that shit just made a big old smile on her face, and you know, she probably, I don't know how she felt, but I knew she was flattered by it. So as the time went on, and I had told her, I told her one time, I said, hey, I said, I'm sneaking in again. I said, but we got to come up with a plan. I said, so if anybody comes, I said, I'm gonna hide in there. I'll hide in there. You just tell me you're eating lunch. I'll hide in there as long as I have to. Just make sure that door ain't locked. Make sure my cell ain't locked. And when I sneak out, I'll sneak out. I said, just remember that you gotta stick to the plan all the time. And she said, okay, we'll see. And so one night came, and she was in there eating lunch, and I snuck in there. This time we did a little bit more, and I was like, damn. I said, you're gonna have to let me get some of that, because you can't be sending me back to my cell like this. And she said, in time, in time. I said, all right. I said, but for real though, I said, I ain't playing. I said, you're gonna have to leave your husband, because when I get out, he's gonna have to go. And she says, yeah, that's what you say now. I said, I'm serious. And so the next day came, and I snuck in there, and then I was like, what's up? You're gonna let me hit or what? And she was like, we might get caught. And I was like, we won't get caught, so we'll do that shit real quick. And I said, look, all this time we're spending talking, we can be doing other things. And so I grabbed her belt, and I opened her belt, and I put my hands in her pants and shit. And she said, we're gonna get caught. We're gonna get caught. No, we can't do this. And I was like, oh, you're tripping. I said, well, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back then. You think we're gonna get caught? So I went back to my inside my building. I was like, damn. So the week goes by, and we just conversating normally, and the weekend comes again. Now I'm already thinking she's gonna give me that shit. And so I sneak in there, and I tell her, let's do this shit. So we did. It went a little further. I ain't gonna lie to you and say I beat that shit up, but I got mine. It took like 30 seconds, but I got it. And but I knew it was on. After that, I knew it was on. And so the day goes by normal. She comes back. She comes in again, and the weekend comes late night. So I go in there, and I told her, remember the plan. So I go in there, and so she let me hit that shit again. And now I knew I had her. Now I had her now, and I would see when she come to work, people would try to talk to her, and she would like, nah, I'm busy. I got to do something. I got something I got to do, and I'll just be playing cards or something, and I could see her staring at me. So I'll go and walk by. I said, it's on tonight, right? And she said, we'll see. I said, look, just make sure that motherfucker stays on the other side. Just tell him that you're not having a good day and you don't feel like talking. And so the late night comes, and everybody's starting to go to sleep already. It's like 1 o'clock. All the time it was like 1 o'clock. And so going there and do my thing, and I told her one time, I said, you know what amino acids are, right? And she said, yeah, I know what those are. I said, can you bring me some? Because I used to hit the weight pile. And she said, I don't know. I said, just put them in your bag. Just come in like you come into work, and just have a little bottle in your bag. Do they search you? She said, no, they don't search us. I said, oh, you ain't got nothing to worry about. So she brought me some. And she brought me some, and after a while, she just bring me some more, and she brought me some other stuff that it's for working out, and she brought me some of that shit. And as time went on, I told her one time, I said, can you bring me some weed? She says, oh, I don't know. And I said, just a little bit, just, just for me, so I could just smoke a little bit once in a while. And she said, but I don't know where to get it. I said, don't trip. Give me an address and I'll send you some. So I had met some dudes that lived in Oregon. I had met them that they were locked up in there too. So I hooked up with them and I said, hey, can you get some weed and send it to this address? And they already knew what's up because they was hitting shit too from from their visitors. And so they said, yeah. So I sent them some money and they give me some weed and send it to the address and she bring it in. So now I started slinging some weed and, you know, got my clients, breaking them off, giving them some weed and making some money. Well, when you start getting something in prison, after a while, everybody starts to know, you know, and everybody was already telling me, you hitting that shit, huh? And I was like, nah, I just fuck around with her. And they said, no, we can tell that bitch is on you. And I said, no, I said, ain't nothing like that. But, all of a sudden it's getting flooded with some weed. And so, people ain't dumb. They put two and two together. So they start asking if I can get them some glasses in and some tennis shoes and all sorts of stuff. So I said, yeah. I said, it's gonna cost you a little bit, but yeah, I'll get that shit. And so I hit her up and I would tell her, can you bring these shoes in, you know, for my friend and I'm gonna pay you though. And she was like, I don't know, just put them in your backpack. They ain't gonna trip on it. They might think it's your extra shoes. So when you get out of work, and so she started bringing some shoes in, whatever kind of shoes, whatever got sent to her, she would just bring it in. Then it went from that to sunglasses, those Ray-Bans or the Lokes, and people started asking me for those, and I was getting them in. As time went on, people, they started wanting some heroin and shit, and I was like, I don't know if I can get that. I said, but I'll let you know. It's gonna cost you though, and they weren't even tripping. And so time went on, and she started bringing whatever I wanted. She would bring it in. Sometimes she won't even know what it is, and she just get the package and just bring it in. And so I had that shit sold up. I was like the plug. I used to fuck with everybody. There was some Northerners there, Southerners there, OGs. I was fuck with them, and after a while, I was hitting for them. I was a plug. I was running that shit, and whatever they wanted. So, motherfuckers didn't want to pay it, and they get rolled up real quick. I didn't even have to do shit. Well, there was some dudes I didn't fuck with. I didn't fuck with, and after a while, somebody hit me up that if I can get them something, and I knew they talked to him, and I said, "Is it for you or is it for them?" And they said, "Well, they're just trying to get something." And I was like, "No, they ain't got shit coming. I don't fuck with them." And everybody already knew that, I had it sold up. So if anything would jump off, they knew I had some back. I had some backup. I used to fuck with everybody. I used to fuck with the blacks. I fucked with the blacks on the streets and in county jail. So, those my peoples too. And so, they get their weed and shit, and the OGs from down south get, I used to get hit for them, and OGs from up north, I used to hit for them too. They weren't even tripping on each other. They're already like 50, 60 years old. They weren't tripping on that shit. And so everybody was getting high. Everybody was happy. But there's always going to be haters. And what happened in 1993, there was a riot in Phoenix. And so a lot of the dudes that was in Phoenix went over there to Sheridan. And they was telling everybody what happened. It was against the guards. So they was pumping everybody up what happened. And an incident happened with this black dude. With COs, they slammed him on the floor. And this one little racist CO went and kicked him in the face. So that pissed everybody off. And especially the dudes from Phoenix, they was already pumping everybody up. And, I used to fuck with a lot of black dudes, and shit, I'm young, so that shit, I was pumped up to fucking start tearing that shit up too. So it was rec time, and everybody goes to the recreation yard, and they get all the pool sticks and baseball bats and weight bars and whatever they can get, and they just stormed out, busting every fucking window all the way on the compound, busting all the windows out. And that one CO that kicked the dude in the face, I seen him by the commissary, and people were already covering their face with their shirts. So I covered my face, and I seen his ass by the commissary, and he knew what was up. He took off running. And I ain't gonna say what I did, but that motherfucker fell. And people would just, start stomping that fool out. And they started lighting up the buildings on fire. And not the buildings where we live, but the chow hall buildings and the metal detector building. They lit that shit on fire. They were breaking in the commissary, and that shit was already on fire. And motherfuckers are eating ice cream and shit. And singing that song, Whoop, There It Is. So that shit's burning up. Everybody's chatting that shit, Whoop, there it is. And that shit was kind of fun. And so we go on lockdown. Well, they say they're going to call National Guards in, and everybody just started saying, nobody needs to get shot over this shit. So, they start making our way back into the buildings. But we go on lockdown, and when lockdown is over, like a couple of weeks, everything's back to normal. Now these dudes I didn't want to, that I don't fuck with, they had wanted somebody to ask me to bring them some in. I said, no, I don't fuck with them dudes. I said, if you want to pay me, I'll bring it in for you. And if you want to give it to them, that's on you. But I don't fuck with them like that. I don't trust them. They don't like me. I don't like them. And, it is what it is. And so, so one day I get gaffled up, get thrown in the hole. Motherfuckers gonna hate all the time. Instead of, coming and handling their business, they fucking do that shit. So while I'm in the hole, this girl, she writes me. And I'm like, oh man, the fuck she gonna do that for? Now, I was in the hole, and they was watching her ass. Cause whatever somebody wrote on the kite, they was watching her. And so when she sent me that card, it was a postcard. They know, they ain't dumb. They see where the post office is coming from. It's stamped right there in Salem, Oregon, right there where she lives at. And I said, oh shit, she's fucking up. And in my mind, I'm thinking, damn, this bitch is fucking up. And I feel like writing her back, telling her, stupid, you can get yourself caught. But I don't. A couple days go by, and she write me another letter. And I was like, fuck. I know they're reading the letters, but I don't write her back. I just leave it like that. I don't write her back. And so the third letter comes in. Now, she said a lot of shit, how come you don't want to talk to me no more? And all of a sudden you forget about me, this and that, and everything you said is this all a lie? And in my mind, I'm thinking, damn, this fucking bitch, she gonna get herself caught up. Well, that letter right there got her caught up. And they come and pull me out. And they start asking me if I had any weapons on the yard, any guns or anything, because somebody snuck some guns in before. And I said, no, I don't know what you guys talking about. No, I ain't fucking with her. I don't know. Fuck that. Motherfuckers just be talking. And so they just keep fucking with me like that. And a couple of days later go by, and she writes me a letter, but she tried to use a different name and just was talking about a whole bunch of shit. And that letter right there told them that it was her, and whatever somebody had said, was true. And I could see when she's coming to work every day. I could see everybody that's coming in. And one day I'm looking out, and when they come in, they stop her at the gate. And I could see the gate, see the parking lot, whatever. And they stop her at the gate, and they're talking to her. And I said, oh shit, she caught now. And so, I didn't say nothing. There's nothing I could say, nothing I could do. But after that, then the guards, they start fucking with me. They start fucking with me, and when I go to the shower and shit, they fucking try to rough me up and shit. And I was pushing back, and one day they fucking dip me on the floor, pick me up and slam my ass on the floor, start fucking me up. Telling me that I fucking ruined her life and this and that. I said, man, what the fuck you talking about? I didn't ruin nobody's life. Just went on like that for a few days. She has kids, she has a family, and one of her kids was disabled, and I fucked her life up, and they fucking beat the fuck out of me, put me up for transfer. Now, I was designated to Lewisburg, Pennsylvania, and I got there, but I took 8 months to get there. I went on, I don't know how many plane rides, bus rides, van rides. They drove me from Oregon all the way to LA, to the little airport right outside of LA somewhere, and I forgot the name. And in a van, 20 hours, and fuck, I got on the airplane, flew out of nowhere. One time I knew I stopped in Phoenix, stayed over there overnight, got back on the van. I don't know where in the fuck they drove me. Got back on the airplane and got on the bus, and I don't know where in the fuck. I was just all over. The only places I knew I got to because I asked somebody, and every time I asked them where I'm at, they already knew what I was in transfer for, and they fucked me up. You know, wasn't nobody around. I was just a holdover here and there. I knew I went to Texarkana. I knew I went to El Reno a couple of times. I went to Phoenix, and it was just like they call it diesel therapy. I don't know how many plane rides I went. I went and landed at the same airport like I don't know how many times. Finally, I get to this little spot in Pennsylvania in the fucking middle of the woods, and I stayed there a couple of days in the hole. And from there, I went to Lewisburg and stayed there in the hole for a while. And they fucked me up there too. They would start talking shit, saying they were gonna put me out there with the DC boys that was gonna fucking fuck me up. And so I stayed there in Lewisburg for like 4 months. And finally I went back to the little spot in the woods. It was called Minersville, Pennsylvania. And I got there, I was in the hole for like 2 weeks. Then I went out to the compound. I was like a year to the house. And so I went, saw the case manager and all that shit, and they started setting me up for a halfway house, which I was gonna go with in 6 months. So I stayed there for 6 months, and I got out. Went to halfway house in Fresno, and contacted this bitch, and she was telling me everything that happened. And I told her, yeah, they fucked me up a few times. They put me on the fucking bus, on the fucking airplane, the van. I said, took me 8 months to get where I was going, but I got there. All fucked up. Probably showered like once a week. Didn't even have no real toothpaste. But it was fucking brutal. But I'm gonna cut this short. If you like this video, if you like this story, hit the like, subscribe, comment, share with your family and friends. I'm trying to boost my subscribers up, so hopefully I can get to like 200 before 2024, so I can start the year off, right. Like always, I want to wish you guys are in good health. Wish your kids are in good health. Wish your kids are safe. And with that, I'm out. God bless. Peace.